Good morning. I'm Patty Murphy with Sotheby's International Realty in the Santa Ynez Valley. I think of living in the Santa Ynez Valley as one of the finest small town experiences in the United States. We have extraordinary natural beauty, clear skies, quaint villages, fabulous restaurants, and a diverse population. People come here from all walks of life from across the planet. It's very cosmopolitan, yet the founding families are still here with their feet firmly planted in the soil. We are only 30 minutes north of Santa Barbara in wine country, and we enjoy world-class vineyards, stunning horse farms with polo celebrities, proximity to wilderness, and it's a very safe place for people to raise their family. I conceived of this idea of doing a series of profiles of some of the many interesting people that choose to make the Santa Ynez Valley their home, and give them the opportunity to share why they love living in this singular piece of paradise. I hope that you enjoy what you hear and see and come and visit. Good morning, it's Patty again. A new day with Helene and Terry here at Pepper Hill Farm. So we wanted to talk a little bit about the history and the development of this property since Helene bought it almost 30 years ago. And it's had a whole new look to it. So how did it start?
It starts because we fell in love with the height of the ceiling and the crown molding and the double hung windows.
Right.
And the nice old big wide planks floors. So that was, I think, the point where we agreed that it was a beautiful property. And it had a potential.
It was originally a salt box.
It was originally, yes, it was a little rectangular little box. And but it had potential, and I think it was built by the architect in a way that if the family was growing, it could be expanded right and left. And it was cleverly done, and the proportion at the time worked for a small family, but you could really expand it. And still, as of today, I mean, the possibilities are immense because you can still go right and left. Like you could include the porch and making it part of the living room and part of the dining room. But it had just a beautiful possibility, and it had good bones.
Yeah, it had beautiful bones.
And so my idea, I didn't like the entrance being right there because basically it felt like you had an entrance and then an exit already. So you just was like invited to come and go.
So was that foyer, that entryway was not there?
No, it was not. And the music room was non-existent, and the veranda was non-existent. There were wall at the kitchen. Do you remember? It was a little galley kitchen.
That, yes.
And there were cabinetry from floor to ceiling, and the kitchen, all of the kitchen breakfast area was not there.
Right, that's right. Yeah, it's really evolved beautifully.
And the library was basically the primary bedroom.
Yeah.
Which had the closet. I remember I was in love with the closet. I was like, oh, a nice closet which is not behind sliding doors. Yeah. And it really became so clear that the veranda had to be enclosed. And we just realized that here you live 8 months out of the year outside.
So this fireplace that you put in, this is limestone, correct?
Yeah, that's limestone from France, and exquisite surface. Paula was, and she still knows her sons who are in charge of this business, but she was the exclusive importer of those incredible fireplace, and those are just very typical of the Sarthe region in France. And basically we only bought the mantles and the corbels, the legs, and the raised hearth. And I realized when I received this one, then the legs were very short because the old houses in the 18th century in France or in England, they had low ceilings. So some of their fireplaces are rather low. If it's not a chateau, you have a low little ceilings of like 7.5 feet. And I was like, whoa, that looks really low. So we did a raised heart. And plus, it's extra seating, and I love it. And we were super lucky to have this gentleman who did the old flue with bricks. So both fireplace, drawers, impeccably. I mean, it's just like you can have wet wood and lousy wood, but you still have a great fire, and it doesn't get you all smoky. And I think that's quite important.
Okay, so, I mean, why don't we talk about, what's gone on down at this part of the house. Let's take a walk.
Okay.
Let's take a walk. This is absolutely one of my favorite rooms in the house, and I love what you did with this, with your summer porches, with the gardens off of that, the big high ceilings. Even though it's a 2-story house, you get all of that profile. It's absolutely wonderful. What was your process for designing this?
The process was to mimic what we already had in the original house, which to me was that charming clapboard farmhouse. So I wanted to extend this, and to mimic the outside, I had to add more of the screen veranda feel, which is quite fabulous because then I can do my reformer Pilates with the view of the garden. And it's quite exceptional, I have to say. And then on this side, to have a big long deck, and then I have the Indian bed, which you can truly take a nap, or we can have breakfast on Sunday when we have time. And then you have a view of the orchard, the vegetable garden, the arena. And it's magic. We are outdoors all the time. Yeah. And there's something, I added the screen doors because with Terry we love to sleep with our doors open. And so in the winter, when it's not too cold, we hear the frogs and
the owls.
And the owls, and I think it's just so magic. And then in the summer, we hear the little cricket. And it really reminds me of the south of France. And we don't hear any cars here. So you just hear
Very
nature sounds. And it's so lovely. And then we have the fireplace. So if it's a cold winter night, we can have our little fires. And it's so lovely to hear when in your subconscious the crackling of the thank you for the wording the crackling of the wood. And true, I mean, I think when you have 9 feet ceiling, is just first you can have great art, and it gives you that space.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
a big bedroom, but it's really, we use it. It's really a great room.
And the baths.
And the bathroom.
Two bathrooms. That's nice.
So I have one bathroom for the messy husband, and then I have one bathroom which is lovely with a steam shower for the OCD wife. And then I have my nice dressing room off one of the bathroom, and then there's a direct access to the library. So I mean, it is really, really nice because I could basically close from the library all of this part of the house and be in our private suite. So we added probably 3.5 feet to the veranda. It was not enclosed with screens, but didn't have a roof, which I thought was really an odd concept. But so we added a roof and enclosed it with screens. And it's not like we have bugs here, so I don't think we have to have
makes
screens,
a little warmth in
but
the
it
evening.
makes it more like a room. And I think you're right. I think it protects us from the draft if we have dinner here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's one of my favorite rooms.
We have lunch every day out here.
Every day we have lunch, breakfast in the summer, and dinner in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if we have dinner here, I will tell my guests, come with a sweater, you never know, it can be a little bit cold, but it's just so nice to be outside.
I remember that this room, this wonderful little room that you added from the original salt box, became the music room for your kids.
Yes.
And then transitioned into a sanctuary for you.
It truly did. So we had a baby Grant, which was the flat face here, so they played here. And we will have the teacher who came on Tuesday afternoon after school, and she will have a lesson for Arthur first and then a lesson for Anouk. And that's why we call it the music room. And it's so funny, I just cannot call it any other word. So people are always surprised when I say, well, go in the music room. And they're like, well, where is the instrument? There is no more instrument, but it is the music room. And now I have my drafting table here, the Tibetan trunk is here, and my desk is here. And it's
Always
Puma.
rearranging the interior designer.
Well, I think the house has that beautiful quality which you can move around furniture. And I love to do this. And I remember the kids complaining one day. Arthur and Ariane will say, but you know, it can be traumatizing for kids to get attached by a piece of furniture and then you sell it. And so they had made a list of the pieces of furniture we were not allowed to sell. And it is Puma's favorite room.
Well, I love the way the light filters through these beautiful windows onto the desk and throughout the room. It changes throughout the day and it's just a lovely room.
Yeah, I love this room. And so this room was originally a deck.
I remember that.
It was a deck with no walls, but it has been a guest bedroom. Like, do you remember? I mean, Alexandre stayed here. I had my nephew stayed here for a month. It has been, of course, the music room, the drafting room, the painting room, the gifting room. Yeah, it has many names.
This is a great favorite for friends and family alike. I mean, it's so pleasant with, of the shade, but just the sensation. You've got the wonderful table out there and the fire pit, the big oaks and the views. I mean, what a special place. How did you design this?
Well,
It was my idea.
It was Terry's idea. I like
it was
that.
his idea?
It
I
was
don't
my idea.
remember that.
Remember we moved the tank and
Yeah,
the couch was your idea.
Yes.
The fire was my
So
idea.
we spent a lot of vacation in an incredible boutique hotel in Mexico. And that was at the time where the drought in 2016, and we thought we had so much expense of lawn. We really have to be more conscious and really just have no water bills. So we decided to do a lot of DJ, a lot of drought resistant plant materials, lots of olive trees, and to create more of the little Saint-Rémy Corsica.
Right.
And it really worked out beautifully because we do use this area a lot. All of our dinner parties are out here because the table is for 12, so that's easy.
Yeah.
And
Heavily used during COVID with our social distancing.
That's true too.
I love the fact that from here, you can see the entire property, really.
Yeah.
It's just lovely.
So we have a grandson, Theo, and
So we were
Charlotte.
imagining
And we always thought, we'll never leave. And they will come and spend a month at a time, and then we will inherit Theo and Charlotte. And by the time they will be 3 or 4, they can probably be in their bed. And that was built basically for them. But before that, Ariane always had the other bedroom, the blue bedroom, and this was Arthur and Anouk. And because they shared their bedroom until I think Arthur was 12 when we built the other side. Those windows we changed, they were the little flap windows.
Right, I remember that. These are beautiful.
Those are so much nicer. Because of work, they are Michigan and Vermont, so we decided then we'll move to them.
closer to
If
France.
grandkids do not come to you, you have to go to them. And I think we
Indeed.
need a new adventure.
Yes.